Good afternoon and welcome to sunny Birr in County Offaly for the meeting of East Cork and Dublin. And already we're getting a few messages on the live chat there on the official GAA YouTube channel there. So we're getting the impression that there's a good interest in this game, and we'll show you the teams in a minute. But you're looking at the moment at the East Cork guys out there in the middle, and we have a Cork man and co-commentary as well. Sean Crowley's with me too as well. Sean, good afternoon. You're very welcome.
Thanks, Jerome. Yeah.
Great day.
Lovely day, yeah. Great
Perfect
day
for hurling.
Yeah, no excuses. And the pitch is great as well, to be fair.
It is. It's in great nick, and this is hurling country here. I mean, we know all about the Birr Club down the years, and especially from the north. Dunloy know all about them as well, but it's perfect here. Great conditions, and we're hoping to have Johnny Pilkington, I'll get that right in a minute, presenting the trophy at the end of this game. We have a double header here, and he will be along hopefully to present the trophy and a best and fairest award, which is a kind of a play on the player of the match, but with a few important messages involved there. So looking forward to a great game. Down to our right we have the Dublin team, and they of course are in the Dublin colours, whereas East Cork are wearing black with a little bit of red around the trims, but Dublin in the familiar Dublin colours, and we will look at their team in a second as well. The competition is the Electric Ireland Celtic Challenge, so it's under 17 and it's at St Brendan's Park here, and it's for the Corn John Scott, and it's the final for that competition. As I say, we are on YouTube, and I'll accept your messages and comments there as we go on, and later on we'll pick player of the match, that kind of thing as well. And already there's a couple of messages there. John Broderick says he refers, I think he's given a bit of support for Daniel Moore, the number 12 from Dublin, from Naomh Barróg, and also Peter Garrett. He says good luck to James Neary and Dublin, and he is the number 6 from Kilmacud Crooks. In fact, they have 2 players in the starting 15. Let's go to the teams then, and that is the Dublin team we're looking at, but we're actually going to start by looking at the East Cork team, and as Sean will explain as well, there are 4, well, Cork entered 4 teams, so different divisions were all involved, and this is the Cork East team, and you're from that area, so if you don't know your Cork, I'll say, well, I'm not from there either, but I'm thinking Youghal and that sort of side of the county over towards Waterford. Yeah,
so like it would be the Immaquilly division really that would have won the Cork Championships in Cork the last few years, so that'd be the region that they'd be picking from. So you'd have Middleton, Erin's Own, SARS, not Sarsfield, Killa, Kilto, Carricktool, big senior clubs in hurling part of the world really, I suppose.
So if you're looking at Scott Malloy, the captain there in goals, he's from Cove. Daniel Nolan, number 2, is Carricktool. 3 is Ronan O'Brien, he's Youghal. 4, Jack Barrett, he's Cove. 5, Ronan Lowney from Father O'Neill's. 6, Richie Harney from Kilta Ogue. And 7 is Evan O'Driscoll from St Catherine's in Mallow. Feel free to correct me here at any point, Sean, if I get any of this wrong. Number 8 at midfield, Matthew Barrett, Carricktool. 9, Owen Fraser from Middleton. 10 is Tag O'Donoghue Brosnan from Father O'Neill's. 11, Samuel O'Driscoll, Ahada. 12, Colin Murphy from Kilta Ogue as well. Full forward line, Thomas Condon from Ahada. 14 is Keon Walsh from Lisgould. 15, Daniel Gard from Middleton. Apologies for any northern twists in the pronunciations there, Sean, but that's the team.
It was good, yeah. Evan O'Driscoll, St Catherine's, they'd be Ballino, they'd be nearer to Fermoy, yeah, than Mallow. So.
Oh yeah, I did a little bit of, I googled that earlier on, it said Mallow, so it's not, it's outside, no. Well the map looked outside Mallow, but the club thing said Mallow.
It's over by Fermoy, yeah, it'll be the other side of the county, yeah.
Ah, right, okay. And Mallow, of course, they had a great pitch in the town, and then they sold it and they've moved out to the centre of...
Big development, yeah. They've about, I think there's 5 pitches there at the moment in a huge complex, so great facilities.
All right, let's go and look at the Dublin team now then, and they have Tiernan Kennedy and goals from Ballyboden. 2 is Owen Lean from Jude's. 3, Killian O'Sullivan. We really should have O'Sullivan on the Cork team, shouldn't we, at full back? Should be the rock. 4, Stephen Keon from Castleknock for Dublin. 5, James Dunphy. 6, James Neary. They're both Kilmacud Crooks. 7, Joe Barker from Castleknock, and at midfield they've Jack Clerkin from Erin's Isle and Aaron Fahy from Naomh Mearnogue, that's Portmarnock, and 10, Conor Regan from Naomh Alof, and 11 is Paul Nolan from Jude's. 12, Daniel Moore from Naomh Barróg. 13, Lorcan Doolin from Bridget's. 14, Bobby Peel from the Vins, and 15 is Paul O'Connor from Foz. So a real spread around the whole of Dublin, whereas this is East Cork.
Yeah, so like there is a good spread, and there's some good hurling clubs, I suppose, in Dublin. On the panel, it's good to see fellas from Naomh Olaf's there now, and Erin's Isle and stuff like that, because obviously we know the Kilmacud Crokes and the Ballybodens, and there's a good spread across the county in Dublin, yeah.
And you see that in the management there as well. Enda Farrell is Erin's Isle, as is Brian McCabe. and then you have David Power as round towers and Lusk. Mick Gagan is from Skerries, actually, out there by Skerries Harps out that way, and Martin Tuitt is Niamh Barrogue as well, so there was a spread around among the management as well. For East Cork, I'm sure you know all the lads there managing them. Of course, you have Alan Geary, Derek Barrett, Ger Sheehan, Pat O'Brien, and if you could talk to me a little bit about the job that they do there and the job that you do and how you all blend in.
Yeah, so I suppose my role will be just kind of organising the 4 regions and getting them up and running along with the other staff in the county, the GDAs, and we all kind of have our own area with clubs as part of our job. So Alan Geary would be from Youghal, and he'd have a young fella in the Cork under 20 panel at the minute, Coolan. So he would have came through the Celtic League a few years ago. Coolan would have when he went, and Derek Barrett would have played Cork Seniors back in the 90s. He was on the panel in 99. He'd be from Cove, and Ger Sheehan would be from the Ahada Club. And Pat O'Brien as well would be from Youghal, so good spread, but good guys. And I suppose the last 2 months really is when we kind of took off with this, and they would have got involved.
And GDA is Games Development Administrator, just to be clear. The players there now for Cork, who are we looking out for? Because a lot of people will not know hardly any of these lads, and that's the beauty of this, they're sort of under the radar. They're guys getting a chance to play at a good level that mightn't necessarily make the A squads, if you like.
Yeah, so like we have a few fellas that were unlucky not to make the minor panel. I suppose Scott Malloy would have been on the extended panel. He's the captain for today. Ronan O'Brien there in the full back from Youghal is a very good player. He would have been on Cork squads all the way up and just unlucky not to make the minor panel again this year. And I suppose if you were to go back to the last game against North Cork, Kane Welch, full forward, was very good that day, and Tomas Condon as well from Hadda, but they all would have been on development squads, let's say, from under 14 up, but just unlucky not to make the match day panels for the Cork Minors.
And this is a development tier. I mean, these competitions have been going since 2016, but it's focusing on a better pathway for 17-year-olds in the tier 1 counties, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, and I suppose we'd really embrace it in Cork with our 4 regions, because other counties would have reduced the back to 1, and we've had good success from the 2, where a lot of players went on to play on Cork under 20 team the last few years. Sam Cork would have won 2 All-Irelands from playing Celtic League, never made a county minor panel, so it is a good pathway for fellas to see that them fellas obviously going on to play Cork Senior after, but these are the lads today really, yeah.
So you could have really put in one team for Cork, and you could have won it, but it's better for development, 4 different teams, spread it out. You're the biggest county in Ireland, and it's all about development and giving guys loads of games and opportunities, but this team just happens to have come through. This
team came through this year, yeah, and I suppose the last few years East Cork would have been in the Division 1, and we were unlucky to lose to Galway in the final and semi-finals and stuff through the years, but as things turned out this year, we 14 fellas with the county minors, so we didn't have a bigger conveyor belt in other years, but thankfully these lads have done very well. They beat Limerick in the quarter final, and they beat Cork North the last day, so they've had a good campaign to date.
And do you think it's important for them to have this sort of showcase event and to be able to wear what is as near as a county jersey? Yeah,
absolutely. I suppose in Cork we'd be big advocates for this competition. We'd actually like to see it replicated from 14 right through to 17, and nearly replace the All-Ireland under 17 competition, to be honest with you, because there's a huge focus and a huge push from 14 to 17-year-olds on development squads, on the main county squad, but there's not a huge outcome, let's say, after it. Whereas we find out in the Celtic League the last 6-7 years, we're getting a huge return from players, and maybe it isn't as much pressure, but fellas are able to develop, they're getting their confidence up, and then they can go on and play county under 20 after.
So what examples do you have of that, of the benefit of it, and not just Cork but in Dublin, of players coming through? Because these guys, they're very close, and of course guys develop at all sorts of different rates, and with this experience at this level, it maybe helps them kick on in other ways that might be lost a little bit.
Yeah, look, the way county minor and county squads are going, it can be very serious, and it isn't for everyone, I suppose, and some players take longer to mature, they take longer to fill out. I know, talking to the Kilkenny coaching officer back in the first round, they were hoping to get 3 players every year that would want to play a county under 20. We'd be something similar in Cork, and obviously we can see the results of it as well, where players have gone on to play county after, so it's hugely beneficial to us, yeah.
But surely it's also looking after the guys who don't make that 3. It's making sure they all get to play at a good level too, and a year can make a big difference. 17s and 18s, we've seen that with a lot of the changes the last few years in a young lad's development.
It can, yeah, and I suppose if you look at our development squad structure, we have of such a big county, as you mentioned, that these fellas would have been on development squads in their region or at county level all the way up, and it's a reward really, I suppose. They didn't make the county minor panel, but it's a reward to, there's something there for them.
It's a reward and an opportunity.
Yeah.
Some of the messages coming in on live chat. Shane Wallace has been busy there. Window I don't know what that name is, but he says there's a strong Dublin bench today. And there's another one coming in. Is it Jared McCarthy? Best of luck to Scott, Jack and Stevie, all at Cove GAA. And Daniel Peel, hopefully a big performance from Dublin 14 today, who just happens to be Bobby Peel. So thank you for that support as well. Keep those messages coming. We're nearly ready for the start of the game. The referee is Brian Keon from Galway, and off and running. We are in St Brendan's Park in Birr, and it's Dublin in the familiar Dublin colours against East Cork in the black with the red trimmings. I always like a black GAA jersey. I always think it looks fantastic. The reverse jersey for the likes of Armagh and Antrim and the goalkeepers as well, they look fantastic, and the East Cork one is no exception, and the sponsor is Electric Ireland of this competition. And of course we're looking for some electric play today. That is Tadhg O'Donoghue Brosnan putting it deep into the Dublin backline to test them out early on, and that's good work by Colin Murphy. And has he got a score? No, he's just put it to the left and wide, but good threat there. And as I say, no wind here to talk of at all. Beautiful sunshine. Nearly too warm if you're playing hurling out there. But actually, is the referee, as the linesperson or the umpire signalling? Is it a 65? Yeah. It is, yeah. Good crowd here as well, isn't there? I take it it's mainly family and friends who also like just to see these lads playing at a representative level. Yeah, there is. And like, obviously at home, there's huge, but the YouTube as well is great today that people can watch it at home, because we were only saying, well, there's so much activity going on at the minute, county matches and so on. It's great that they can tune in. Exactly, yeah. There's just so much on at the minute. It's very condensed, and yet it might only be, another 2 months of inter-county competition as that one goes over. First score of the game. 1-0 for East Cork, and it was the full forward Keon Walsh. He's a big fella. He's playing out around right half though, is he? Yeah, he plays wing forward, yeah. And what's that about? Are they just mixing up the numbers a little bit, or? I suppose they just kept the numbers they were from the first game, and they just haven't changed. The positions would change, but not so much the numbers, no. Yeah, so he's in there wearing 14 but playing around the right half, and number 12 is actually in full forward. That's Colin Murphy. Yeah. And is it Kilta Ogre? Kilta Ogre, yeah. The combination of Castlemartyr and Dungorney. So Kieran Joyce, the Cox senior centre back, would be Castlemartyr, so he would have played underage with Kilta Ogre. Here I was talking about jerseys. Look at this snazzy number the goalkeeper has. That's the captain as well, Scott Malloy from Cove. Big fella too. Is he going to put this over? I take it if he's come all the way here, he's going to, or be pretty close to it. That's dropping a little bit short, and it is in and around the house. I thought Dublin were looking to clear and lost it there for a second. There was a bit of panic, but eventually they get a free out. Yeah, they've dealt well with the last two high balls that have gone on, to be fair, and they're clearing their lines. Centre half back is James Neary from Crooks, Kilmacud Crooks in Dublin, and that's gone all the way through to Conor Regan. Now, first attack for Dublin. That's Lorcan Doolan trying to get in there, and it ends up going over the bar for their first score of the game from the centre half forward. Paul Nolan from Jude's, 1 point each, and this is shaping up, Sean Crowley, and an interesting wee game. Actually, I'll not let you come in because I want to watch where this goes, this puck out, and he's maybe looking for the big fella out here. In fact, it goes all the way to James Dunphy, who is with the big fella Keon Walsh, and he just got his hurl to that one. But yeah, an interesting start to this game, and it's end to end. Yeah, good start and a very good score there from Paul. He took it well after, because it was a good hook over the wing, but good finish. And pretty obvious that's a nice connection as well. The puck outs are going straight down the throat of that number 14. Keon has been good for East Cork the last few games, so they'll be trying to get him into the game early. Yeah, exactly. He's the target man now. Here's a smaller fellow, but he's nippy in there, and that's Daniel Gard, but he can't quite connect in there, so that one goes a beg in. I said there was no wind, but I'm now looking at the tricolour on the far side, and there is a bit of wind going from left to right, favouring East Cork, but I don't think it's really going to be a significant breeze today. This is Tiernan Kennedy, the goalkeeper for Dublin, and he gets good length in that into the East Cork half, and that is going to be an East Cork ball. And Tadhg O'Donoghue Brosnan, number 10, is going over to take it from Father O'Neill's. No, actually he's not, he's just setting it up for Evan O'Driscoll, I think it is. Evan, yeah, from St. Catherine's, yeah. Where'd you tell me that is again? From my Ballino, Cana, yeah. No, last one was a good point. That's a great connection as well. Brilliant. Right into the full forward area, looking for Thomas Condon from Ahada, but Dublin defence is quite tight. has been doing quite well in there. They've repelled most of the pressure that's come their way. And they've repelled that one, but illegally, and it is a foul on Keon Walsh, and he does seem to be the main man at the minute for East Cork.
And look, it was kind of, there was nothing really in that challenge, it was just fumble really, but they are trying to get the ball to him, and he was the main scorer the last day, so they'll be hoping again that he do it again today.
You can just see the sun going in and out a little bit, and so there's a little bit of shade in that part of the pitch. I wonder if that put him off, and trying to make excuses for him because I really expected him to put that over. Yeah,
I thought he would too. I'd say he rushed the shot after he picked it up.
Yeah, maybe it's because he got the knock as well. He didn't quite compose himself enough. But anyway, these things happen. It's 1 point each. 5 minutes gone. Little ruck in the middle. Referee Brian Keon keeping an eye on that. And it's the midfielder Matthew Barrett from Carricktohil emerging with it. Yeah, it seems a well contested game. It's always good to see. You don't really like to see one-sided games, so this is looking pretty interesting. James Neary is the number 6 coming through the middle, and he's going to get it back as well. The referee says that's fine, play on. Spreads the play out into the corner. I think he's looking for, is that Paul O'Connor over that far side? He is, but it's well defended by Daniel Nolan. Or is it? Dublin corner forwards over there persisting. And eventually East Cork are going to clear their lines, and it comes over to our side again, coming looking for Keon Walsh, and he just composes himself, takes it in the left hand well, but he's hooked there by James Dunphy. Brilliant work by him. He gets a round of applause in the blue jersey and the blue helmet. Gives it out to Conor Regan. Now he's been hunted down by Ronan Lowney, but he's still going. It's Conor Regan, good run along the side, and now he's hooked as well. Defence is on top is a cliche we use a lot, Sean, in this business, but it applies in the last few minutes, and this game's getting a little bit feisty, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's a lot of hooking and blocking going on and dispossessing, so there's great pressure going on every ball.
But now there's a little bit of room. That's good work by Paul Nolan just to get a little bit of room and get the shot in, but he doesn't finish it well.
No, but very good here in the wing from James Dunphy, dispossessed Keane and set up a good attack for Dublin.
Message coming in from Michael Lowney, says best wishes to Ronan Lowney. That's the number 5 for East Cork, as we watch Daniel Gard get a shot away. And has he got that? No.
Wide as well, yeah.
Several wides so far. Is that just early nerves?
I think so. I think the game just needs to settle down and get a bit of a flow to it, but both teams seem a bit anxious on the ball, and there's good pressure going on them as well everywhere around the pitch.
And that message I was trying to read out, there's a few messages have come in and they're giving support for the boys from Father O'Neill's. So that's Ronan Lowney at 5 and Tygo Donoghue Brosnan for East Cork, and people delighted to see that. Rita's delighted to see that as well, the club represented. So that's the Father O'Neill's club again. Give me a little bit of geography. I did try to work it out earlier on.
So they'd have 2 players in the Cork senior team tomorrow, Joe Mellerick and Dickie Dalton. So they'd be down near Youghal, between Youghal and just from St. Edith's, where we were on about a while ago, near the coast. So
1 point each, and the goalkeeper out again. Serious distance back though, so I imagine this will drop in and around the house, but he has got good distance on it and batted in. Again, good defending in there by the Dublin rear guards so far. This is the number 11, Samuel O'Driscoll from Ahada. And again, defence is on top.
Yeah, great hook from Joe Barker, and even there will go Daniel Gard won a good ball for East Cork and came out with own line lean, but both defences are on top, and even the attackers they're putting good pressure on the defence too, so it is both ways.
Now the puck out from Tiernan Kennedy down in front of us to the left, and that's the corner forward Lorcan Doolan trying to get in on it. Yeah, forward struggling a little bit on both sides so far. They're under intense pressure, but maybe that'll relax a little bit as the game goes on. This is Aaron Fahy, number 9. Yeah. Gets it away, but took the slither over the line.
Yeah, great pressure again. As you said, the defence is on top, but Jack Barrett there put great pressure on him and forced him out over the line.
No. Nice jersey. I see it up close here now, and Celtic Challenge on the front of it as well.
They get to keep them too, so that's a huge, I suppose that's why they want to keep their numbers for every game.
Wow, they deserve it at the end of the whole campaign for everything they put in as well. And that's a nice one you'll like to wear to training, because there'll not be many of those about. And that was Matthew Barrett with the sideline, and nobody's really able to impose themselves here. No one's able to keep possession for too long.
Yeah, no, I suppose there's good battles, good duels going on everywhere, and you think someone's getting on top, and all of a sudden the opposition players beating them to the next ball.
James Neary fancies that, but I think it's going short, and it's well taken by the goalkeeper, Scott Malloy. Oh, hold on, he's out of his goals. There could be trouble here, but Daniel Nolan comes to the rescue, and he's looking for Barrett, and that's beautifully taken by him. And then on his left side, a whole range of skills there, and that's an interesting ball actually, and could even get in behind here. Colin Murphy is there, and he's got number 13 Thomas Condon there. He doesn't need him, he keeps going. Murphy, well saved by the goalkeeper, watched it all the way. It was a little bit ambitious to try and score from there, but the keeper still did well.
Yeah, he did well. I thought he actually took so many steps, but it was a good save after.
It was. This is the midfielder Fahy now for Dublin, and there's definitely more pressure from left to right. I know I was saying it was a bit even, but now I'm thinking as James Neary comes out, he's been on the ball quite a lot, and now Paul Nolan from Jude's. That's good, forceful play by him trying to burst through, and he's got a free. And even though most of the play is going from left to right, this should be Dublin 2-1 up.
Yeah, there seems to be more ball going into the Cork full forward line, alright, but the Dublin backs are doing very good, and they were very direct with that attacking a good free one by Paul.
Yeah, he just direct, strong play there, wasn't it? And this is now Paul O'Connor from Foss. Right on the 45, right in the middle. Shouldn't be a problem, and oh, it is a problem. He's just gone to the right, and yeah, a lot of players just even from placed balls and from play just have not just quite settled yet.
No, and that was a good opportunity to go 2-1 up.
Yeah, I had my money on it already. I actually saw a camogie game here a couple of years ago, and this girl from Clare put one over from well inside her own half, and the lads not having the same joy today.
No, and it is a very long pitch. I was out on the pitch beforehand, and we were commenting it. It's a very big pitch, so you have to take every chance, really. It's good to see Paul. Actually, I was a GPO in Dublin for 5 years in Fogs, so it is good to see a Fogs fan in the team.
Absolutely. So you were up there as well, so you do have a foot in both camps, really. This is Samuel O'Driscoll. 1 point each, 12 minutes gone. I was expecting quite a few more scores from this, but I think it'll come. That's a very high one. Has he got it? I think he hasn't got it either. They're not far off. I mean, these are all really close ones.
Yeah, like look,
that'll happen.
You know, a bit ambitious. If you were up a few scores, maybe that would have went over and settled them. But good effort.
There's someone on the live chat asking, is the pitch cut tight? He says lads are struggling a little bit to lift the ball. It looks pretty good to me.
No, it is very good. The grass is very good on the pitch. Yeah.
Jack Clerkin from Erin's Isle. Oh, great work by Owen Fraser from Middleton there. They're having quite a battle there, the two midfielders. Yeah, there's great challenges going in all over the field, and it's a really even battle. If it was a boxing match, you would find it hard to judge the first round, let's put it like that. And there, the referee just keeping an eye on what's going on, and eventually it's a free to East Cork.
Yeah, off the ground, but it's a good duel. You'd just like to see a few more scores, I suppose, to liven it up a bit. But there's good contests going on everywhere on the pitch, and there seems to be no one really standing out as such in the early part of it.
Yeah, no individuals, you mean?
Yeah, no individuals. So like, they're all having good duels everywhere. Even Paul there and Daniel Nolan in the corner is good duel as well.
But that's what you want, isn't it? And that's what this competition's good for.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's no point having like hammering matches, and that's the problem sometimes with development in hurling. You know, some counties could absolutely destroy other counties, but you want to promote it, and this is exactly what you want.
Yeah, and I suppose look, the group games allow for that, because if you do get beaten, you get graded appropriately, like we are here with Division 2. So it allows teams to play against teams of similar ability then when we get to the knockout stages.
Puck out by Tiernan Kennedy from Bowden, right down the middle. And there's the number 2 Daniel Nolan again for East Cork. He really is tenacious, and he's having another go, and eventually persistence pays for him, and he gets the free as well. That's great work, isn't it?
Brilliant work, yeah. And I suppose the last 2 or 3 balls he's come out with there, and that was tough there now. 2 or 3 Dublin players kind of tackling him, but this is his first cousin now, Matthew, taking the free. He looks like he's going for it.
Yeah, they're both from Carricktool. It's dropping short, but there's a bit of room in there if they can behind, but the keeper watches it well, Kennedy. Those 2 midfielders again, what a catch, and it's Fraser again. That's fantastic work. Brilliant skills off the stick. There's the score of the day.
Yeah, and Owen has been very good the last 2 balls, and they're having a right good duel there himself and Jack Clerkin, but that was a brilliant score of the day so far, yeah.
Because, the sun's right up there, and he would have been looking up, and then he caught it in his left hand perfectly. And then nice skill to execute. Matthew Barrett, again, easily recognisable there with his play, but also the yellow helmet. And he's coming looking for it again. Isn't needed. And instead, Tadhg O'Donoghue Brosnan go for his own score. I told you the scores would come.
They would, yeah. And I suppose Matthew's starting to play the ball around well. He did it there with 1 or 2 sidelines as well, and he's given good passes to the inside forwards.
So exactly 15 minutes gone, and East Cork just open up a little bit. 3 points to 1 now, and they are making their pressure pay, and they're making great block. They're making Dublin pay for not taking that opportunity to go 2-1 up. Dublin need to settle a little bit because they had that bad miss and they haven't had many scores now. He's lost his hurl there, and he's penalised as well, Ronan O'Brien from Youghal. What happened there?
Well, he lost his hurl, but I thought the referee could have allowed advantage even for a few seconds because the Dublin player had cut inside and he was going to win the ball, but he blew and gave the free a bit early.
Yeah, now after the last time I dare to say this, but this should be a point. This should be 3-2. And I was just saying they need a score just to settle them a little bit, especially after the miss, just to say let's get back into this game. And Paul O'Connor does convert it on this occasion and gets a round of applause. And I'm looking down the left, there really is a big crowd here for both games, and lots of friends and family and club members coming in to support these boys, which is good to see. 16 minutes gone now. We haven't had too many fireworks on the pitch, but some very nice hurling and a good even contest. And this guy has been excellent, and off he goes, Nolan, and he puts that over to the middle, and that's Guard going for it, I think. And this is O'Driscoll, and they have got him behind here now. He's well over to the left, Thomas Condon, so he has to come back in, tries to pick somebody out, and I'm not sure if he was aiming for Fraser, but Fraser has it. He's looking a little bit of room, and eventually that's O'Donoghue Brosnan. He got 1 a minute ago, and there's another one. He's starting to find his range. East Cork are starting to find their range as well.
He is, yeah, and I suppose Tomas was trying to pick out Daniel Gard, but it broke through to one. But Owen Fraser again, another influence in the game as well.
They seem, for me, to be having a little bit more room. As you say, they're starting to pick out their passes a little bit more because they're just finding another little second of room that maybe wasn't there at the start. And this is Barrett now on his left side, and he's playing with a lot more confidence. I'm not sure if that's dropping in. No, it's going to the left again, and he probably had a bit of time there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I think he kind of was on the back foot and he sliced it, but I suppose East Cork could be disappointed after missing 2 or 3 kind of handy scores as well this side.
Yeah, they could be further ahead. Dublin's attacks have been sporadic. This ball down into the corner, and there's another hurl has gone flying, and it's Daniel Gard, so he's just going to boot it on and hope that Tadhg can do the rest, but he doesn't. It's going to be a free out. And we've another message on the live chat there on YouTube. Sinead Condon, I take it you might be related to Thomas, and also Michael Lowney says well done Tadhg as well. Now Dublin seem to be outnumbered and just struggling a little bit at the minute. Cork lads just imposing themselves, but here Aaron Fahy has put a long ball into the forwards, and they're not really finding the forwards, are they?
No, they're not great, and I suppose Paul Nolan's another fella they need to get into the game because he started the game brightly. But the one thing that is very noticeable with Dublin, their hooking is very good, and their dispossessing and of the Cork players is very good.
Yeah, they're doing that side of it, but when it goes in there, maybe it's the tight marking of the East Cork defenders, but they're not getting clean possession in there, like this kind of clean possession. That's a brilliant catch. Was that Jack Clerkin, I think it was?
Jack, yeah.
And this has gone again.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the angle of the ball. I mean, that's not an easy ball to pick up, is
no,
it? They're just lashing them in there.
They're just lashing. They're not getting their head up and looking where the players are either inside.
Oh, that's a lovely touch, whether he meant it or not, off the hurl. And it is Keon Walsh from Lisgould, and he gets the ball moving, moves it on up to Daniel Gard from Middleton, makes the defence work hard, and that's great effort. Surely that's not going over from there, is it? No. Oh, it is, Now, that is the score of the day. There was a good one a few minutes ago, but that's fabulous from a bad angle. Not only the finish, but the build-up all the way down this side. Yeah,
great finish, and I suppose those were the scores they were missing early on, but he had made the angle much harder for himself, so I thought he was after missing his chance, but it was a great finish by Daniel.
5-2, so the last 4 minutes or so we've had some excellent scores, and the game has livened up a little bit on the scoreboard, and some of the skills that are on show are really impressive. Crossfield diagonal, looking for O'Donoghue Brosnan. He looked like he'd lost it, but showed good heart and commitment to get stuck in there and win the ball back for his team. That's well taken by Colin Murphy. Very well taken. He's got lots of company. Tries the shot again, and maybe a little bit ambitious to shoot from there.
I actually thought he fouled it. I'd like to see it again, but I thought he fouled it. He threw up the ball and caught it, but it looked like from here, but a bit too far out to go for it. I think a point would have been the easier option there. But what's noticeable though is Matthew Barrett and Owen Fraser seem to be setting up an awful lot of the attacks for Cork East, and they're getting really, really good ball into the inside forwards, which I suppose isn't the case on the other side of the field.
Yeah, they're making the ball do the work. They're moving it quickly, and defenders don't like that. They can't settle. They can't really see where it's going, and some of the ball in has been very accurate. Was a Dublin ball into the forwards has been hard for the forwards to pick up. There's a bit of variety as well to the East Cork balls, the diagonal balls down the side, whereas the Dublin boys, maybe they're just under so much pressure around the middle, but there doesn't seem a lot of shall we say accuracy. Don't mean to be too harsh on them, but a lot of the ball is just whizzing past the forwards. Yeah, around this area they're battling for it all right. There's no problem there. And that's Neary getting stuck in. And eventually it's East Cork, and that seems to be the way of the game, that little cameo there. It's East Cork winning most of the battles. It is a battle, but they're just edging it.
Yeah, and Matthew Barrett is getting on that in ball every time and giving really, really good balls into the inside forwards.
They come out looking for Keon Walsh, who's drifted over to the left side, and that's O'Donoghue Brosnan. Well, I said he found his range. That would be a little bit outrageous from the left. Nearly got it.
Nearly got it, yeah. And look, it was worth to take him because there wasn't too much else on after that, so he was just out to the wide.
On live chat, Aidan Forrest has said, great score, Daniel, referring to Daniel Guard's.
Aidan will be Liz Gouldman, yeah, so.
A little bit of club support.
Well, the guards would have his first cousin would be playing Liz Gould. Daniel plays at Middleton, obviously, but he'd have cousins and relations in Liz Gould.
Now again, it's East Cork winning the battle. Evan O'Driscoll. They're just winning a lot of the personal battles and those balls that are 50-50s. They're winning loads of them all over the field, and it's the pressure is telling. Oh, there's a hit going in on Fahy, but he goes on regardless and gives it to Neary. And there again, the pressure. So they're trying to get that ball into the forwards, but there was a hook coming in. Now the referee has said play on. He's given advantage here to Paul O'Connor, and he takes full advantage, and that's good.
Great score, and out in front of his man and won a good tough ball and took the man on as well. So, you know, and what's noticeable as well, Steve Keon back here, cornerback for Dublin, is really tough, tight marker as well. He's putting fierce pressure on the Cork forwards, and he's turning over a ball.
He is indeed. And there's a bit of an injury here over on the far left. There's a helmet off, and he's down getting a bit of treatment. So, and the sun's gone in as well. Still warm, obviously, and tough for the boys out there. And it's like a mini water break now. They're all running on from the sides, throwing in the water. 23 minutes nearly gone now, and everyone taking full advantage of this situation because it has been lively and there's been a lot of energy out there, and it is tough going. 6 points to 3 for East Cork against Dublin in the Electric Ireland Celtic Challenge for under 17s here in St Brendan's Park for the Corn John Scott. And we're ready to resume. Subs go off. Referee Brian Keon says let's go again, and it comes down in front of us, but it's going right over the line, so slightly misjudged, but they are looking for Keon Walsh, the number 14, most times from those puckouts. And this for Dublin in the rather nifty short sleeve jersey as well, and the round sleeves, nice jersey for Dublin too. The Celtic Challenge on the front of it, and as Sean was saying, they get to keep these nice jerseys too as a memento for their efforts. And a little hook going in again there, and the
Owen Fraser, yeah, and like it was a great first control by Jack Clerkin there for Dublin, and he did everything right, but Owen put great pressure on him and got a good hook.
Yeah, they're just sort of slowly breaking Dublin's hearts, aren't they? Because they just feel that it just looks like they need just another second. They're not getting
it. Like there was only one good ball went into the inside forward for Dublin. Paul's last one, 20 minutes. So that'll be one thing Dublin will be hammering home at half time, I think.
Yeah, that was a strange one. I don't think he connected quite the way he meant, but he did get height on it, but not so much distance. Might get another chance here though. Now, I'm not sure if that was legal there, what he did, but he seems to throw the ball up and catch it again, but got away with it. And this is Colin Murphy now. And there's a lot of clash of the ash, a lot of hurls clashing today, which tells you something.
Yeah, like a great hook there, or great block by Owen, but that was a 65, I don't know.
Yeah, he's signalling now for it, yeah.
Yeah, but Colin, it was an ambitious shot from out the wing again from Colin. And
it worked for Daniel 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, but there's a lot of ball going into that Cork full forward line, and the Dublin full back line of Owen, Keon and Stephen are doing very well in their back. I mean, they're putting great pressure on them, and I think it's out the field they kind of need the Dublin players to start to come into the game as well.
Yeah, so you've been impressed by the Dublin full back line there. Owen Lean from Jude's, Killian O'Sullivan at full back, and Stephen Keon at Castleknock.
No, he's not given a 65, which is strange.
Yeah, definitely the umpires seem to signal. Overruled. But 6 points to 3, just the 3 in it, even though it's been mainly East Cork. Certainly in the last 10 minutes or so. 25 minutes gone, so just 5 to go to half time. And it's a strange one in a way. Dublin will be quite pleased, I think, to be in touch. And they've still got a chance if they can turn this around, but there's not many signs of it. East Cork are dominating. You wonder, will it just tell a little bit more? This is the midfielder Aaron Fahy, and that tells you something when he's back there helping out the defence just to put it into the midfield area where he usually would be. And this is dangerous. Keeper comes out. I was going to say there haven't been any real goal chances yet. He nearly got in behind their guard. Goalkeeper Kennedy did well, but look, it's just coming back again every time, isn't it? And the pressure is on from Dublin, but they're trying to stem the tide, and it just keeps coming. And there's a crossfield diagonal. And again, it's Samuel O'Driscoll, and now it is Barrett, and a little bit of room for him. And indeed, the pressure does tell, and it's 26 and a half minutes gone and goes to a 4-point game. And there's a bit of inevitability about it at the moment, the way the game's going.
I suppose at the same time, Dublin will be happy that there's only 4 points, because the longer the game goes on and stays that way, like a goal could change the game very quickly, you know.
26 and a half minutes gone, and we haven't had a real goal chance yet. But yeah, it could, of course, change things. And this is the number 11 from Ahada, Samuel O'Driscoll. I wonder, does he get Sam? I presume he does, or does he stay with Samuel as in the other?
He stays with Samuel, yeah.
Famous Samuel Maguire from the same county. And another code.
Yeah.
This is Joe Barker from Castleknock, teammate of Stephen Keon at number 4. The fullback for East Cork is Ronan O'Brien from Youghal. That's good work by the Dublin forwards, and I'd say the Dublin backs will be appreciating that the forwards are working hard in there.
Yeah, give them a break, and if the ball could stay up that side of the pitch, I think they'd be happy as well. But Dublin definitely need to, I suppose, create a few more opportunities for themselves up there.
Yeah, they could do with a bit of a breather. It's been a tough first half, but just the 4 points in it. 2.5 minutes to go. Actually, am I right now? Do they play 30 or 35?
30, yeah.
Oh, it is 30, okay. Barrett again, one of the stars of the first half, gives it into Colin Murphy. It's good work again by the Dublin defence. He was trying to get it out to Tag at number 10. Now that's tenacious. Is it legal? Referee says that's okay from Owen Lean. James Dunphy going for it, challenging Colin Murphy. Murphy edges it and gets the ball away, but blocked down on Stephen Keon. He's able to clear his lines, but only as far as Fraser. This is Joe Barker again. A chance to drill it down the side, which he does. Again, serious pressure. Is that Nolan again? I think Nolan, it is. Yeah. He's at some game in there. He has tormented the forwards in the first half. And Bobby Peel gets us free. And that's good work by him. So they're certainly not fading.
No,
and with like a minute to go to half time, this should make 3 in it.
Yeah, like for all Cork's dominance around the middle of the field, getting the ball in, like the Dublin full back line have been excellent. And you know, they're turning over the ball time and time again, so they just need the players out the field really to start coming into the game a bit more.
This is Paul O'Connor. About 50 metres out, looking left, is it? It is, it's gone left. So coming up to half time, I was reading the programme, a really good programme produced by the GAA for this event, and 30 8 teams from 30 different counties. I mean, that must be great reading for any hurling fan. 30
Absolutely,
counties.
yeah. Like, and when they're on about the promotion of hurling in the media the last few weeks, this is, I suppose, the best competition to do that countrywide.
Now, don't you be as controversial as the other Cork man talking about it in the media.
No,
I'm only joking.
But like this is great because you know you have every other county playing against traditional counties, if you want to call that, in hurling, that are somewhat weaker without the county players. So it's a level playing field really, and you know that's why I'd be kind of advocating that if it was at 14, 15, 16, 17, it'd be good nationwide really.
Absolutely. Well, they're certainly getting into areas and giving players chances and lots of opportunities of games if there's 38 teams from 30 different counties. Well taken by Keon Walsh. Spins it this way and that, and then gives a lovely ball into Barrett as well. Is there a goal threat here? Well, there's a point threat. Those two lads have been excellent in the first half, haven't they?
Yeah, Matthew Barrett in particular. He's getting on a load of ball, and he's set up most of Cork's attacks, and he's after getting 2 very good points himself. But Keane gave a very intelligent pass there, yeah. Yeah,
because he could have taken his own score there easily enough from that sort of distance, but they've been knitting together quite well. And I suppose the thing is, at this level, do they play as individuals or do they play more as teams? Oh, what a catch. And it's Daniel Gard from Middleton there, and we've seen a lot of great catching at this game, and he's going now. I think he was fouled there, but he's still persisting, gets a shot away and just goes to the left. But lots of good individual play.
There is, and it's like after the first 10 minutes we're starting to see that, and it's starting to open up and free a bit more. The only thing that's very noticeable is Dublin are trying to play the far corner all the time, Paul O'Connor, and there's very little ball going to this side of the attack.
Yeah, and when it came to this side, they did get some good scores out.
They did, yeah. The full back line again. Yeah,
Owen Lean read that well, but needs another go at it. I thought he had it and lost it, and now he gets us free. So we're 1 minute, 2 minutes into added time at the end of the first half. So we hope you're enjoying the coverage. There's a big crowd watching online, and feel free to leave a comment there or a message on how you think things are going, or let us know where you're watching the game from. It's great to be able to bring the game to you online, free to view, thanks to the GAA. Oh, that's nice play, and it really has opened up a little bit for Samuel O'Driscoll on this occasion, and that stretches it, just coming up to half time to a 5-point gap, and that's the biggest gap we've had so far, and it's probably a fair reflection on the first half, Sean Crowley.
Yeah, I think so, yeah, but you know, no team's really pulling away from any other, but Cork definitely are slightly ahead in Dublin, but I think Dublin will be slightly disappointed maybe with the ball is going into their attack there in the first half, and you know, look, it's anyone's game as well for the second half.
Sets it up nicely, and I am keeping an eye on that tricolour on the far side, and there is a breeze picking up, so Dublin will have that in the second half, and I'm sure the benches are strong as well, and they'll be rolling them. They
will, yeah. Like, and I suppose there is a bit of a breeze. East Cork had it in the first half, and you know, I think they'd be disappointed. Maybe they left a few scores behind them in that half, but at the same time, 6 points is a good enough cushion. I don't think the breeze is worth 6 points, maybe 2 or 3 points if anything, but it's definitely going to help Dublin in some bit of the game anyway.
Okay, that's how it's poised. We'll be back with the second half right here. So we're going to take a little bit of a break now, but we will be back for the start in about 5 or 6 minutes, I'd say. Not long of a break here in Birr, and we're back at it. There's one change for the start of the second half as Brian Keon gets us underway, and that's a free for East Cork within seconds. And they did give the announcement of the sub on the tannoy. I'm wondering, Sean Crowley, did you pick it up?
It was Jack Batt, number 25 from Castleknock's, come on for Bobby Peel, number 14 from Vincent's.
Thanks for that. That's Sean Crowley and CoCom with me here, and Jack Batt indeed, 25 from Castleknock, and they already have a few representatives here. Stephen Keon at number 4, Joe Barker at number 5. So Castleknock with 3 players on the 15 out there for Dublin, but they have an uphill job in the second half, because that now is 10 points for Cork. It was pretty even throughout most of the first half on the scoreboard at least, but now there is 7 points between the teams in Dublin. Have it all to do, and I'm looking back at the tricolour now just above where the play is at the minute, and it is static, so there's no breeze advantage. The sun has come out as well, and that's a high one from the right from Owen Fraser, and that's a super finish. He was almost over in the apple green behind the stand there, putting that over right over on the sideline, and that is one of the scores of the day. We've had a few excellent scores, lots of great skills on show, and that one of the best of them, and the job has got a little bit harder. 2 points in the first minute of the second half, and Dublin need to do something. Jack Clerkin trying to get one back. He does get one back, and Sean, they needed that.
They needed that, yeah, and a good response, because Cork got the first 2 points obviously in the second half, but both Cork midfielders have got 2 points each now from play, and Jack now has put one on the scoreboard, so both 5 points from the 4 midfielders.
Very good start to the second half. And there you see the exchanges are quite feisty.
Yeah, good catch by Tyke, and there was good pressure on from Joe Barker there, and Joe was up the other side of the field setting up the last attack as well, so a good duel.
And that's Barrett again, and he drills it low down into the corner looking for Thomas Condon. Condon gets it, but well read. I think that was Paul Nolan back there, was it? The centre half forward helping out, but look, East Cork just have a good setup there, don't they? They're all supporting each other very well, and they dealt with that very comfortably. Good working back by Aaron Fahy though for the Dubs. Eventually spills out, and it's going to be a free to Dublin. Thanks for your comments on the live chat. Tommy tells me he's watching from Indiana, and he says he's trying to pick up some new tricks for his next league match with Indianapolis GAA. That's Tommy Smith. Might see you at the US Nationals in August, which are in Denver, Colorado this year. There's a nice hook coming in as Dublin were trying to get a score back and didn't quite manage it. Now the goalkeeper's he's just about managed to get that away there, and he has. And we also have Ricky Starmer, says he's watching from Brisbane, Australia, supporting his nephew Scott Malloy, the goalkeeper for East Cork, and the way things are going, he'll be lifting a trophy at the end of this. So brilliant to be able to bring this live stream to you, thanks to the GAA investing in hurling all over the country. 30 counties represented in these competitions. They really are trying hard to develop and spread the gospel. And this game and these 2 games today, an example of that. So it's good that it's being appreciated worldwide. That's high but not accurate, gone over the sideline.
Yeah, and what's noticeable as well is the 2 tough shots in the keeper. The last one there's a bit of an astroturf in front of them, and the ball really hops off it. The Dublin keeper made a good save in the first half under tough circumstances as well.
Now that's the only thing we haven't had as a goal so far, but that could change, and from a game point of view you'd like it to go to Dublin. Barrett once again getting in there and nearly got away with it beautifully as well. He seems a real talent, and Colin Murphy ain't half bad either, and he gives it in to Tygo O'Donoghue Brosnan. Now he's been pretty accurate so far, and he's not going to miss that one. He does go for a goal, he heard me saying. Got too low, or maybe he mishit it, but he should have really, coulda. I'll come back to Sean for his analysis on that in a minute. I thought he was going for goal and didn't get it, and that is going to be a Dublin ball. But yeah, why didn't he take his point?
I know, yeah, the point was on because the 3 Dublin backs were actually, he was running towards them and they were in a good position. So I think that's 2 or 3 times Cork have kind of went for a silly goal chance when a point would have been the better option. Yeah,
I suppose these young lads, and they're 7 points up, enjoying themselves, and they're going for a bit of glory on the live coverage. Maybe can't blame them for that either. There's a few messages coming in of support for Paul O'Connor. That's the number 15 for Foz, who's been their main scorer so far, but the pressure is going from right to left this half. East Cork in the black. What a brilliant snatch out of the air from Samuel O'Driscoll. We've seen that a lot in this game. Now it's Condon. Little pirouette from him, but he runs up against a blue wall. This is Colin Murphy. Well defended back there by Paul Nolan, centre half forward, but he's doing a lot of defensive work, and then the shot comes in and it does end up in the net. It may even have been deflected to the net. First goal of the game, and it is for East Cork, and they move in to a 10-point lead. It's been an interesting game, a really good game. We watch it again here, and Sean Crowley, did you see what the connection was there?
It looked to be going straight to the keeper, and it just took a deflection off the Dublin back, so unfortunate for them, but I suppose it shows really where these Cork team have been for the game. They probably deserve the goal at this stage.
A few more messages coming in on the live chat on YouTube. Marie McMahon says thanks for the opportunity to watch this from Dublin. Shout out to her nephew Stephen Keon. And Michael Lowney says thanks for the opportunity to watch from Nottinghamshire in the UK, supporting nephew Ronan Lowney and his father O'Neill's teammates. That'll be Tygo Donoghue Brosnan as we watch Dublin get a free in at the other end. And Amy Barker says, come on Joe Barker. That is the number 7 from Castleknock for Dublin. Well, he and his team have been rocked back in their heels a little bit the last few minutes, because East Cork started the second half with 2 points in the first minute. They've added a goal. There's one back for Paul O'Connor and Dublin, but they're still now a fair way back, and it's 1:11-5. Time maybe for a few changes. And is that a signal from the sideline? The referee, I think, is he holding up? Yeah, the linesperson has his flag up, and it looks like Colin Murphy, number 12, is going off for
Fionn Kelly.
East Cork. And who's in?
Fionn Kelly. Fionn Kelly's in mid, number 20 over the far side.
20 over the far
Middleton,
side. Yeah. So a switch, and there he is in the white helmet, trying to get under that.
And Colin's done well. He's created a lot of chances, had a few goal chances.
And there is going to be a free in, and Dublin starting to get a few decisions around the Cork goal now, and I think they're just confirming the substitution that you mentioned, Sean, or is that another one? I don't see another one. That's the same one.
Yeah. But like a good chance for Dublin again to get another score, just to get back that goal that they conceded earlier, I suppose. And but at the same time they had 1 or 2 chances there to score, and they didn't take the chance either. It was good pressure on the backs.
Yeah, they need a few. It doesn't look good on the scoreboard to only have the 5 points 8 minutes into the second half, but that makes it 6.
And Brian, the referee, to be fair, has been very good all through. There's been no real controversy, or he's not blown the whistle too much either.
Absolutely, he's let the game go when it can go. And it's going to be an East Cork ball. Joe Barker went with that with full commitment, but just couldn't keep it in. This is O'Driscoll from St. Catherine's, placing it carefully. Perfect connection, and nicely taken, and could end up in a goal. Brilliant save by the goalkeeper. That looked like a textbook goal, but the keeper watched it well. Maybe the connection wasn't as perfect from the forward, but Tiernan Kennedy did his job. And a goal there would have really set Dublin back. But instead, maybe it will inspire them a little bit and energise them a little bit if they can get in behind. And again, the referee has penalised the East Cork backs. That's 3 or 4 times now, Sean.
Yeah, I suppose he must have been pulling them on the way out. But Jack, that's his second free now. He's won since he came on, Jack Batts. So I think he's going to book him this time, Ronan O'Brien.
I think that might rule him out of the best and fairest award if he was in the running for it. Just
but
a
good save will go from Tiernan, because I know Tomas mightn't have hit it that well, but he's been good, very good in goals for Dublin all through.
So just the 8 points in it now, or is it 7 now? It is. 1:11 plays 7. They're not out of this, Dublin.
No, a goal would change it.
Yeah, and I know they have a few excellent players on the bench to come in if they make an impression. The sun has gone in, so it's just gone a little bit cloudier and overcast in St Brendan's Park. East Cork need to respond, and it's Owen Fraser, and that's not a great response. I take it he wasn't going for a score, but didn't get a pass either.
Yeah, I say he'd be disappointed, but it did look like he was trying to pass the ball, but obviously went out wide. The wind seems to have picked up as well in the last minute. Yeah,
just felt that as well. It's gone cooler, and a little bit of wind, which if it does pick up is going to be in favour of Dublin. You just feel there's an opportunity for them here. 10 minutes into the second half. Will they make this a very interesting finish? After Cork's domination, well, batted down beautifully there by Evan O'Driscoll, one-handed. Doesn't stick, but falls kindly for Samuel O'Driscoll. That's a bad angle, but has he got it? I think he has, that's a super score, and East Cork have responded with one of the best scores, certainly, of the second half.
Thomas Condon, yeah. Great score and good ball up from Owen Fraser again. Just creating that space for them.
Yeah, so that's resulting in them just being outnumbered a little bit here. This is Conor Regan. And he went quite low on that. And how many times today have we seen courage and skill in the blocks?
Yeah, like he just got a bit of a, I think that's on, is it Ronan? Yeah, just got a belt in the head, but there was no intention. Obviously, Conor was going for his shot away, but he just caught him accidentally. This is a throw ball, I think, is it?
Yeah, he just went low on it, didn't he? And the hurl came up. So Brian Keon, referee from Galway, puts it in, and off we go again. 12 minutes now into the second half. 112 plays 7. 8-point game. Paul Nolan thought he might go for his own, but instead he gives it out to Paul O'Connor. Is it? No, it's actually it's 25 again, isn't it? I saw the 5, but it's actually Jack Batt.
Yeah, good score, well-worked score from Dublin.
He's done well.
Yeah, he's done well, yeah. And since Connor's gone in full forward as well, he's done well.
Makes it 112-8. 7 in it. Now Barrett takes it rather effortlessly from the puck out. That's Stephen Keon, number 4, doing well to try and repel the attack. Daniel Gard has been lively though, and Cork just seem to always have another answer. They just keep coming at Dublin. That one though has gone to the right and wide.
Yeah, Ronan would be disappointed with that, and probably the better option would have been to give the ball into the forwards.
I'm expecting a few more subs at this stage, and I see Cork starting to warm up. Number 23 over there on the far side. I'm expecting Dublin maybe to roll on a few though.
Yeah,
this is Barrett. Barrett is running the show, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
what a catch. Sorry, I'm trying to bring in here, but something keeps happening every few seconds. It's so enjoyable to watch and so good to commentate on. Lovely skill again, and it's Condon again. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying Matthew Barrett, he scored to himself, but he set up most of Cork's attacks as well. He's been brilliant.
He's one of those players, whether it is a case of him having room or he just looks like he has room, but he always seems to have a bit of time and space there, and he's just lovely skills. And is this 2 in a row in about 20 seconds? No, it isn't, but it's still 113. 8 points in it, and I don't see any movement on the Dublin side, but Cork are going to bring on a sub. Dublin, I see now their management looking around and looking at the bench, and now they've asked one of the players to come out to warm up. In fact, he's put his helmet on, so it could be a change for them, but the change is number 15, Daniel Gard from Middletown, going off, and he gets a generous round of applause, well deserved. 23 is in for East Cork, and that is Stevie Dennis from Cove. Same club as the goalkeeper, Scott Malloy.
There's 3 Cove on the team, yeah, which is good because they're coming again underage.
Yeah, Jack Barrett at number 4 as well. So well represented. And is that the name of the club down there?
Yeah, Cove Town, yeah. So they'd be Cove GAA club, and they'd be very strong in other sports as well in the town, but good sporting town.
Absolutely. Numbers telling at the back again for East Cork. And a little slip there means that Tag O'Donoghue Brosnan has got room, and they shouldn't really afford him. Now that's going to the right a little bit. I thought it might just fade in, and that's what he was going for, but he didn't quite find the range as he had been earlier in the game.
No, and he'll be disappointed because Tomas Condon had created loads of space from the side. If he got the head up a bit sooner, he would have seen him.
Jack Clerkin going off, the midfielder for Dublin. He's had a tough time against the East Cork midfield today, but he played really well, and he's been given a rest now, and they've got fresh legs in there, and the fresh legs in the shape of number 17 for Dublin, Finn Doyle from Jude's, immediately in the play. Nice short play there. Well, it's nice if it works, but it actually isn't going to work. It's gone over the line a little bit too intricate there for the Dublin side. On the live chat on the YouTube coverage, Rory Quinn says big shout out to James Dunphy from Kilmacud Crooks, same club as James Neary at number 6, so that club represented in the half-back line. And Robert Malloy is supporting from Wexford for his nephew Scott Malloy, who's playing in goal. Yes, indeed, he's captaining East Cork. That's who we were talking about a minute ago from Cove. Now, this is Evan O'Driscoll from St Catherine's. Goes low, the daisy cutter along the line, or maybe he just didn't connect it right, I'm not quite sure, but anyway, it's still possession. Barrett always available and always with the head up immediately. But Dublin snatch back possession. Just look how many East Cork black jerseys are back there. It's 4 against 2 every time, but the 2 have it now. And that's an effort that's going to go left, I think, from Conor Regan. And it is. So it remains 1-13 to 8 points, 16 and a half minutes into the second half. Sean, do you see a grandstand finish here? It's beginning to look like East Cork are just going to hold them at bay here.
Yeah, Dublin need to take every opportunity they get. But Jack there now again midfield, got the good ball into Conor, and they need to take every score really. They can't afford to misses like that.
Dublin ball. Nice message coming in from Jim Reaney in the live chat. Thanks, Jim. He says, well done to the Ahada lads and selector Ger Sheehan, and special congrats to my grandnephew Daniel Gard. Come on, the Rebels. Thanks for those messages. Keep them coming on the live chat there, especially as we get towards the end, as East Cork tag on another score, and it's the number 5 Ronan Lowney from Father O'Neill's making it 1-14, and we are coming to that stage 17 minutes in, where I'll take a few contenders for your award at the end. It's not a player of the match as such, it's called the best and fairest award, so that goes at the end. Now, we might have a contribution to it. I'm not saying that whatever we pick is going to be the award, but we'll certainly have a go at it, and we'll take your help as well. So anyone you think who's done well out there today, by all means nominate them. This fella has been splendid and nearly created a goal chance there. He's been so good all over the field. Yeah,
and won a good free from Seth Matthew. Yeah, he's definitely one of the dominant players in today's performance, but he has been all true, to be fair to him, and I suppose he's been unlucky not to get on the county minor squad after, but he definitely looks like a player that will be pushing for the Cock under 20s over the next 3 years.
And that's the beauty of this level, isn't it? That they can showcase their skills and they can come again and get another opportunity to play at that level.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I suppose he reminds me of Sam Cork really when he was playing midfield at this level again. He went on to win 2 All-Irelands after the under 20, but you know, as well as that, it shows good resilience and good attitude that they would keep coming back to this, because I suppose when this competition started a few years ago, some players would be like, oh, that's beneath me because I didn't make the county minor panel, but you know, fellas have showed a good attitude.
So it's more of Celtic opportunity than Celtic challenge, although it is a bit of both. But certainly it's an opportunity for lads who mightn't otherwise get a chance to play at a representative level, and now they're thriving, and there'll be a few who'll go up and others who will just benefit generally from the experience and go back to their clubs and play at different levels, but it gives them a bit of confidence and plenty of game time at a good level as well. You can't all be in the top 15 for the county.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's the biggest kind of reward we get from this, that so many fellas do go back playing with their clubs, and even over the last 8 years, you know, our return would be good from fellas still playing with clubs, whereas with development squads in the past, when they'd be taken quite serious, you'd see a bigger fall off, let's say. You know, fellas would kind of, after minor or so on like that, the pressure of it, whatever else did, they might continue to keep playing.
Another point for Dublin, that's 9. Gets it back to 1-15 to 9, about 10 minutes left. Thank you for your messages again on live chat. Robert Mooney says, Robbie Mooney cheering on Joe Barker from Castleknock. Thanks for that. And now we have a few contenders for player of the match. But let's follow the play first while it goes over the line. So I'll keep going. Alex Joy says Scott Malloy for player of the match, or best and fairest award, sorry. His puck outs have been top notch. Stephen Canavan says such a brilliant game. Great skill and show from both teams. Totally agree with you there. Martina Deneen says well done Evan O'Driscoll in London watching. And Alex says surely Matthew Barrett for player of the match. And yeah, he's certainly a contender. Michael Lowney says Malloy's distribution has been great, and Tag Brosnan's been having a great game. Absolutely agreed. And this fella's done well for Dublin, Paul O'Connor. He's got most of the scores from frees, and there's another cracker from play as well, Paul O'Connor from Foz. So he's kept them going really well. And who else have we got? James O'Brien says it has to go to Ronan Lowney. He's been magnificent and scored a screamer from wing. And yes, plenty of contenders coming in. Your thoughts, Sean? Still good 10 minutes to go, mind you.
Yeah, there's a few, like I think Owen Fraser there, Matthew Barrett have been very good for East Cork. Paul O'Connor's been excellent for Dublin. 7 points he scored out of the 9. Tygo Donoghue Brosnan's been good as well. So there's quite a few to go, to be honest with you.
Robert Kerr is on from Lucan Sarsfields, wearing 18 for Dublin. I think he's in for Daniel Moore, the number 12 from Niamh Barrogue. That's a switch for Dublin. So he's got 10 minutes to show what he can do. 1:15 plays 10. So that 8-point gap has more or less been there for about 10 minutes. So it's going to take something pretty dramatic for that to turn around. See more subs warming up on the far side. I see a few more East Cork lads doing their stretches. And I see some of the lads in the tunnel area for the second game, which will be Galway against Tip, which will be streamed live as well. Trying to get away and gets us free. Chance for Dublin to go to 11 points and make it a 7-point game. Right behind this one. Oh, he's just put it to the right and he's annoyed with himself. You're allowed to get one wrong.
Yeah, and look, he's been excellent all through. He's been Dublin's best forward, so you know, just unlucky to pull that wide, obviously.
Change for East Cork. Number 10, Tygo Donoghue Brosnan gets a big round of applause because the crowd appreciated his efforts today. He's been really good. And number 17 coming in for East Cork. You know these lads better than me.
James Hurley's come on wing forward for Tyke, and I think there's Marty Desmond's come on.
So James Hurley, number 22 from Ahada. He's in. Oh, nicely taken. And that's the number 20, Fionn Kelly. Gone wide though. Fionn is from Middleton. And did you say Marty Desmond as well?
No, not yet. He's still warming up.
Oh, he's warming up. 17. Change, yeah, he is, yeah, from Youghal. So he might get a few minutes. Long enough journey from Youghal to Birr on a lovely Saturday afternoon. 1:15 plays 10. 7 minutes to go. We will be staying on the stream for the presentations of the awards and the trophy. It's the Corn John Scott, named after John William Scott, who lost his life 100 years ago in Croke Park as a 14-year-old on Bloody Sunday. Dublin persisting. They've 3 against 4, and there's a bit of room inside here, actually, if they can get it in to Conor Regan, and they do. And he tries to lose his man, but easier said than done. Keeper reaches it, and it's lashed into the net for a goal for Dublin, and maybe this isn't over yet. That was great work by Regan. I thought maybe the chance had gone, but it bounced kindly either off the goalkeeper's hurl or the post out to Paul Nolan from Jude's, and he buried it.
Yeah, back to 5 points. So, you know, a lively last 10 minutes. I think we're in for our 6 or 7 minutes, however long he plays. But Conor has definitely made a big difference since he went in full forward. Conor Regan, he's won a few frees, he set up a few scores, and like that looked like it was going into the net too. It was hit the post, but to be lively last few minutes in a way.
It's made it interesting, and it seemed to come out of nothing almost.
Yeah,
maybe have they pushed more forward? Because I was looking up, every time I looked up it was 4 against 2, but that was 4 against 3. Now this is Keon Walsh. That looks good from this distance. Has it got the distance? It hasn't. Dublin need to get this and get up the field. They have exactly 5 minutes of normal time. This fella's had a good half. Jack Batt came in at half time. This is Regan again. Dublin starting to enjoy themselves out there. And Lorcan Doolan going for a score. Takes it really well. Oh no, he doesn't. It's gone to the left. It's just to the left. I thought it was over.
Yeah, and looked like a great score. But Connor's been excellent since him in full forward. He's causing Cork all sorts of problems. If Dublin can feed him, really, I suppose in the last 5 minutes is the big thing to roll.
Yeah. Yeah, he's moved in there, the number 10 at full forward. Conor Regan from Niamh Olaf. Dublin winning a lot of the exchanges around the field, which means that the pressure is coming in. So there's more ball coming in. As you said, if they can get it to Conor, he can do damage in there. But this fella has had a good game, Daniel Nolan. He's certainly a contender for player of the match as well. Outstanding in the first half. And he's just helped to prevent another Dublin attack. It's beautifully directed down into the corner. 23 is Stevie Dennis. Looked for the pass out, but instead tried to work his way around the left, but he's fouled, and that's going to be a free out for Dublin. On the live chat, John Parker says, great hurling skills on show from East Cork. Good luck to all the Youghal supporters. A couple of East Cork subs coming on just for the end of this game. So East Cork's number 7, Evan O'Driscoll, is getting a rest, as is Jack Barrett. So down the left side of the defence, they've made a few changes. And so 2 East Cork defenders coming in. I'll get their names in a minute, or maybe you know them, Sean, do they? But interesting, they're making changes back there.
Yeah, Shane O'Donoghue who's come on there, wing back, and Marty Desmond from Youghal has come on as well from Daniel Nolan, or Jack Barrett.
But they've left
on this side of the pitch, yeah.
Ronan O'Brien in at full back there on Conor Regan, and that could be the key duel here in the last few minutes. It's a great battle between those two. That wasn't the most accurate of balls, and that's not what Dublin need at the minute.
No, they just need to get the ball into the Conor inside and see can he create a few chances, because he has to be fair. Oh, that's a bad sideline.
Yeah, they're all making mistakes now. Maybe it is a bit testing out there in these conditions, but it gives Dublin a little bit of hope. 2.5 minutes left. 5 points in it. They have narrowed the gap, and Regan is making a move, and that's a brilliant ball to find him, isn't it? And he takes it lovely as well. Now he's a man over on his left. Is he going to go himself? He is going himself, and maybe the wiser option was to go left, but he has got a point out of it.
Point, yeah. He's the go-to man. 4 points if they could get the ball into him at all. He's definitely winning every ball.
Yeah, but Doolan was free on the left there. If he'd have got it to him, he was in for a goal. He got a point though. Keon Walsh latches onto that loose one. He's got support back there, but he's also got a lot of pressure, and that's great work. And it's the number 4, the defender is Stephen Keon from Castleknock. We'll give him a mention for player of the match as well. He's been really good in there. And this is not where Dublin want the ball, but they do at least want it, and they've got it. Joe Barker, the Castleknock connection. They're knocking on the door now in the last few minutes to see what they can do. It's a nice little double shimmy, was it? And then the direct ball, and it's 2 against 2 in there. Now this fella's been causing trouble. Can he get it? Oh, it's just guided out nicely by Ronan O'Brien.
Yeah, it is a lively last 2 minutes though, and you know, Cork haven't got to score on the board the last few minutes either, so you know, it's back to 4 points if Dublin can knock one more score on.
4-point game. 1 minute of normal time left, and Dublin win it again. And they put it in and around the danger area again towards Regan, and O'Brien did well there just to bat that away. But Dublin just keep coming. Tables have turned. And that's a free out for East Cork to relieve the pressure a little bit.
And East Cork, I suppose, I think they've made 6 or 7 changes at this stage. So, you know, when you make that many changes, it takes a while for fellas to settle in. But I think they'll be happy to see the game out now at this stage.
Well, I think he's just announced 4 minutes.
4 minutes, yeah.
Didn't think there'd be that much, but it gives Dublin a bit of hope. 4 minutes, 4 points behind. Good connection. But James Neary is there for Dublin. If he can keep it in, he can't. tired legs, tired limbs.
Ball.
Oh, nicely taken and nicely picked out.
Bad wide.
But not nicely finished. That's a surprise.
Surprise, yeah, because match has been so good through all through, but a great sideline as well. But that was a chance to just kind of, I suppose, put 5 on it and try and kill the game off.
Yeah, it's still alive for Dublin if they can produce something, but that one spills. And it's Nolan from Carricktool. Says thank you. And puts it down into the far corner. A little bit of a pull there. Referee says play on. It's O'Driscoll from Ahada. This could be the insurance point. Yeah. And it is from Samuel O'Driscoll from Ahada, but it came from the back. It came from Carricktool.
Daniel Nolan, yeah, and even Samuel had 2 fellas outside him and he took the shot on himself, so it's a great score. And just gives a bit of breathing space again.
1:16 plays 1:11. We are in added time. We've 3 minutes 20 seconds left. Richie Harney, haven't mentioned him much, but he has been solid in there for Ace Cork from Kilta Oak. Same club as Colin Murphy at 12. Another substitution or two.
Making 3, I think, yeah. So Dara Egan is coming on here midfield. Looks like Darragh
Fraser's
going off, yeah.
Dara Egan's 21 from Middleton, going ahead.
Rob Dean then from Ahad is coming on for
18.
Ronan Lowney, and Tomas Conlon's come off, and looks like who's gone in the corner.
I'll let you pick that out.
I think it's Fionn Hill, yeah. It's Fionn Hill from Youghal.
Fionn, yeah. Ronan O'Brien did well again there. And, you know, O'Brien's been important the last 5 or 6 minutes because the Regan threat was there and he's dealt with it really well in the last 5 or 6 minutes. He deserves credit for that. Yeah,
he has, and he's stopped the tide. And East Cork seem to have got 9 subs on now at this stage. So
just about everyone, if not everyone, has got a bit of game time. You like to see that too. That's in the spirit of the competition. And, you know, it's nearly ended up in the net. It has ended up in the net, and one of those subs has finished it and has made sure that the Electric Ireland Celtic Challenge, Corn John Scott, will be going to East Cork. It was nicely batted to the net. 2:16 now. That kills it. And it was finished by, I'm trying to see the number, one of the subs. It was Fionn. Oh, he's only on the field about a minute. Fionn Hill finishing to the net from Youghal. .32 and a half minutes gone. 1.5 minutes left. Dublin persevering right to the end with Joe Barker, with James Neary. And now one of their substitutes, Jack Batt. And that's just going to fall into the keeper's grateful arms, Scott Malloy. .33 minutes gone. 1 minute left here in Birr. Free in for Dublin. 8 points down, and immediately off camera, Ronan O'Brien runs back to his line just in case they try to go for goal here.
He'll have to drop it in, I say, at this stage, won't he? Yeah.
She may as well. 4 minutes was announced, so we're in the last part of that. And he just puts it high, drops it in and around, but the big goalkeeper goes up for it. Now he doesn't quite get it, but East Cork managed to clear. Not completely though. And that was a foul. Another free for Dublin. Another chance to put it in there. Shane O'Donoghue. A little bit impetuous there. And it's Paul O'Connor from Foz. And again, just go for that relaxed style. They'd put it in there and hope someone gets a hurl on it, but it's the goalkeeper who gets a hurl on it. And Neary now, again, going low, but a lot of bodies there to try and get through, and they don't quite manage it. Bat gives it back to Fahy. And Fahy again says, here you are, Paul, just put it in. Now he tries to drive it in, but Ronan O'Brien, who surely is a contender for Best and Fairest award as well, he's been really good in there just when the threat was there. So right at the end of the game now, we will be staying on, as I say, for the presentation of the Best and Fairest award and the cup and the medals to the players as well. And then we'll be doing another stream on the next game, Galway against Tipperary. This one ain't finished yet though. 4 minutes added and more. And I thought he was going to pull on that and send it to the net. Defending in numbers by East Cork, who have won the 2023 Electric Ireland Celtic Challenge. They have won the Corn John Scott. And Sean, I'm going to press you for a player of the match. And we are going for Matthew Barrett. And the celebrations begin for the lads there. And it was great to see, in the spirit of the game, that I think every single sub got a game out there as well. That's the spirit of it. Even if it had meant Dublin coming back into the game, that's the right spirit, isn't it?
Absolutely. And there's a lot of controversy all week about under 12 and so on like that, but an under 17 all-Ireland competition, and getting 24 lads on the field is great. And look, it's great credit to the management too to get them all on the field and make them feel part of it. So a great win for East Cork, and probably deserving too over the hour.
Yeah, a lot of contenders were mentioned in the live chat there. Matthew Barrett, of course, to the fore, but a good few other lads getting mentions as well. Who from Dublin would you pick out today?
I thought Paul O'Connor was very good in their main threat all through, to be honest. I think he finished with 7 points, and Conor Regan, when he went in full forward as well, like, he got a point obviously, but he set up the goal chance, he set up a few other chances, and he was really, really threatening. So there was a good spread all through. I thought Owen Fraser was very good as well from Middleton or from Cork East, but I thought Matthew was probably just a bit above everyone else, to be honest, on the pitch for the hour.
I like seeing a club getting well represented, and Castleknock had Stephen Keon in there at number 4 and Joe Barker, and they brought on a sub as well, so their club can be proud of the efforts for Dublin there today. And Jude's had a couple of men in there too, and Croaks had a couple of men in there, and they all performed as well as they could today against tough opposition, to be fair. Yeah, they were, and as you said about Dublin, there's a great spread. I know some clubs have 2 or 3 players, but it seems to be most of the hurling clubs around the county have someone on it, so it is great for the promotion of the game, really, and it is great for them clubs to have fellas on these panels as well. Yeah, and in East Cork, it is just East Cork, so from Youghal up there, a lot of small clubs there that I wouldn't have known from a distance before, and they are all well represented there. You have 2 from Carricktool, 2 from Farlow O'Neill's, you've Kilta Ogut, a couple in there, you've Youghal and so on, and Lisgould. Now we're going to have the presentation now. Well, the parents paparazzi are in there getting the photographs first, but we'll give them the cup first, and then maybe we will get the photograph with the cup, might be an idea, but I suppose we're waiting for Dublin to come over first before we can do the presentations. Yeah, look, Cork East does 16 clubs in the division, so it's a small pocket, I suppose, but well represented. Most clubs will be well represented, because some of the clubs that wouldn't have fellas here today would have been on the Cork Minor panel, so you'd kind of have a good sprinkle of players across the division. Now, the cup's disappeared. It was down in front of us. Somebody's stolen the cup. No, I'm sure they haven't. But we are waiting for Dublin. Maybe I'll stop talking now, because that is John Irwin, who is the chairman of the local club from Birr here. And I know he was trying to get Johnny Pilkington to present the prizes. And he's there. And he's presenting the medals. So I'm going to stop talking, and hopefully you can pick up what he's saying, and every player can have their moment.
The best in fairness to Cork
So the photographs being taken. Matthew with Johnny Pilkington there.
Johnny Pilkington will make the presentation to the Cork captain from Cork, Scotland.
And there is the photograph. We can see some of it, and I'm going to try and get down into the middle of that to try and get awards with one or two of the winners in there. So bear with me, and I'm gonna leave you talking actually a minute, John. So if you can keep talking and tell me just a little bit of an advertisement, if you like, for this trophy, and I'll go down and try and get a word with Alan Geary, the manager, and maybe Matthew Barrett as well. So what has been the best parts of this competition from a hurling development point of view?
Yeah, so look, I suppose just having so many counties involved in it really, and every county in the country having a team, and in the traditional counties being minus their inter-county players, they're not allowed to play, so it kind of is the level playing field for everybody, and it just allows the weaker counties compete against the traditional counties, I suppose. So it is great. It's something we'd be big into it under 17. We'd love to see it, 14, 15, and 16 right away through. But it has been very successful the last few years. Obviously, COVID came and it held it up a bit, but we 4 regions in Cork, and we're definitely seeing the benefits of it. And I know Galway's seen the huge benefits from it too in the past, because they've had 2 or 3 teams in it, and a lot of their players would have went on to win minors and under 20 All Ireland. So there's huge benefits from it, and you can see the counties doing well at underage, doing well in this as well, obviously. So it is great, and I think the lads will be delighted. They've been on development squads all the way up underage, and it is a great kind of reward from really that this competition is there for them, that it isn't the end of the road if they don't make a Cork minor squad.
Celebrations going on in the background, and Alan, thanks for joining us here. It's great to see that. You must be thrilled, not just winning but taking part in this competition.
Look, it's fantastic. They're a great bunch of lads, and I suppose it's all about the players. It's all about the players. In fairness, I think Cork do it best of all with this Celtic Challenge. I was involved a few years before as a selector. They put out 4 teams every year. They spread the net, and 17 years of age is a very young age to be saying, you're into county, you're not. There's 130, 140 young fellas that are playing minor for Cork this year, and you know what, it's fantastic. And there's a few of them lads going to play Cork under 20s. I am telling you here now, there's a few of them have to play. Will play Cork under 20s. It is great. And look, I'm delighted. Look, we're representing a mighty parish, Imekilly, and Derek has won loads with Cork and Imekilly and stuff, and Pat O'Brien from Youghal and Georgine from Ahada. We had a great old crack. For we're together, I'd say about maybe 3.5 months. We put a lot of effort into it now, in fairness, in the background, but it's all about winning now today. So, and the lads, fair play to them. Just delighted.
And I liked as well that I think you used every single sub. I mean, you could have risked Dublin getting back at you there.
I won't say who, but one of the selectors was going off his head. But look, you know what? Look, they're good players. They wouldn't be on the panel if they weren't good players. And I called it at the end of the day. I said, look, lads, we have to give everyone a game. They've all put in the work, and they all deserve it. And I trust them. Just trust them. And to be fair, when every one of them came on, they did the business. It was great.
Well, one of the subs there was a Keon who got the goal right at the end. He was only on about 30 seconds. Was that your masterstroke?
Yeah, I'm claiming. Sean Crowley, I was looking down, he's laughing, but I'm claiming that. Look, Fionn was actually, he'd probably been starting thereabouts in the backs for us, but he was away for the quarter-final and semi-final. He was in holidays over in America, so look, he's put in the effort. He was away for 2 weeks. He was entitled to his little game, but I've seen him playing the forwards before, and something told me he'd get a goal, and he did, so delighted.
And just finally, the family are all delighted. You see all the family and friends there, what it means to them to see these lads not only win, but playing at a good representative level and getting a chance, an opportunity. I mean, they call this the Celtic Challenge. It's also the Celtic Opportunity.
yeah, look, we came up on the bus today before every other match and all the trainings. So the parents are bringing, the player. We decided today we'd make a big day out of it and we'd come on the bus. But the parents are dragging the lads around the place. But it isn't just for the Celtic Challenge. It is for the last 10, 15 years or whatever. So parents to the clubs, in fairness to clubs, they bought into it as well. There was a couple of lads had a match on Thursday night and they told them come away training with us, and do you know what I mean? So you need to get buy-in from everyone. But look, we're delighted. Look, it could have just as easily been Cork North, it could have easily just been Cork City or Cork West. But look, we got to look at the draw, I suppose, and we ran out winners. But we're delighted. We're absolutely delighted. And fair play to the young fellas. They're not mind being good hurlers. They're a credit to themselves. They're the nicest bunch of young fellas I've ever got involved with.
Brilliant. Well said. Thanks a million for that. That's Alan Geary rounding it up absolutely perfectly. And that's the end of our live stream with another one coming up now in the Galway Tipperary game. But for now, it's congratulations to East Cork, but also to Dublin. Hurling is the winner. From Birr, goodbye.